What's up, everyone? Welcome to the YouTube page that talks a lot about a little. Um, Today, we're doing part two of the vinyl reviews, and if they're going to be anything like the last one, this is what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, yes, we are talking about Kissland by The Weeknd, and now I want to say this before we get into this. This one is sweet, and I'm kind of upset that I'm doing it so early, but the wheel spoke, so this is what we got. So Kissland by Weeknd. A little brief history about this. This is his fourth project. It came out after the trilogy. It was his first studio album, and yeah, I'll get into some of the artwork in a second. But this one. So without further ado, let's get into the songs. Let's get into the portion that you guys probably care most about. First up is Professional. Professional is it's a good song, man. It kind of engulfs you into what this album is going to be. You kind of get a deep look into what he's thinking, is what it seems like, and then it switches over, and it sounds like he's having fun with the women of the night, to say that in the nicest way. Uh, that song I give a 7.8. Solid, very very good song. Good way to open it up. It gives you a good brief expectation of what this album is. So after that, you go into The Town. It seems like he's still talking to maybe the same girl. Ooh, sorry. Seems like he's maybe talking to the same girl. Not 100% sure. It was really good. There's very subtle guitar in the background. Um, Yeah, and I'm just going to mention this while I'm going through it at the same time, how it sounds on the vinyl, so we're clear, so I don't have to go back through. This one, Professional, sounds about the same on vinyl. It's good. But The Town, I don't know what it was, but something about the vinyl, it made it sound. His voice was clearer, which kind of added more of an emotion to the song itself while listening to the vinyl, which I haven't had yet, which is cool. That's a lot of fun. That song got a 7.6. I did give it a little bit of a bonus point for how nice it sounded on the vinyl. The next one is Adaptation, which is ooh ooh hoo, 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 hoo. This is a good one. I really really enjoyed this one. This might be one of the highest rating songs that I have on this whole series, to be honest. I really like the layers to it. The beat has all this nice melody. His voice stands out with the beat, though. It's got like a little bit of a darker, deeper sound, but his voice is a bit higher in this. Uh, and it's got a good storyline to it. It's him getting used to the celebrity style. He's fresh off of the trilogy, which is where his fame really started. I didn't get into him until this album came out. Belong to the World is actually the first song that I actually got into by The Weeknd. And that one going into it was my favorite one, but Adaptation is just everything about it is awesome, from the layers and the melodies and stuff to his voice and how it stands out. And he's even saying in this, she might have been the one I let go for a little fun. I made a trade, gave it away, or give away our days for a little fame. Now I'll never see your face. That's okay. I adapted anyway. And then the chorus is adapted to these models. It's really good. He's really digging into what this music is bringing into his life and what his life is becoming because of the music. It's kind of a nice inside look at his life. That one I gave a 9.2. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite song off this work. There's a couple that come close, but this is my favorite song off this vinyl. Next is Love in the Sky. The guitar distortion in it is very nice. His voice is very nice too, but the lyrics don't really grab me until the very end, where he says, "But I'm always getting high because my confidence is low." Once he says that, then it kind of wraps me in. But at that point, it's kind of late. It's like the last 30 seconds. So yeah, the rest of it, just not quite there for me. And this is a lot of people's favorite, but this was my least favorite. I gave it a 6.8, and it's kind of weird that the last vinyl review I did, my favorite song leads into my least favorite song, but it did it on this. And then Belong to the World, like I said, was my favorite going into this one. This is track 5. The other two songs that I mentioned also sounded good on the vinyl. Not great, but good. Belong to the World, it's kind of a crazy, chaotic beat, and it grabs your attention, but his voice just kind of brings it back into not feeling too crazy, if that makes sense. You kind of the same thing with Adaptation and Belong to the World. It kind of just, if you're listening to it by yourself, it kind of fills the whole room. It fills your whole everything. You get an actual reaction from the song, which is some you look for in music. You want to be able to have a reaction to it, and Belong to the World will definitely give you a reaction. You'll feel what he's feeling, kind of. So I gave that one an 8.7. Sounds just fine on the vinyl. Live For, and this one has Drake in it. This is the most streamed song off of this project, which, I mean, makes sense. It's got Drake in it, so obviously it's going to be the highest one. That one, though, I like Drake's verse a lot, which actually brings it back, but the chorus is just, it's a little lame to me. Yeah, dude, I gave that one a 7. It's, yeah. After that, though, you go into Wanderlust, and it's kind of, I feel like this is the song that really shaped how The Weeknd is now with his last two albums, After Hours and Dawn FM. This is kind of like the precursor to both those projects, in my opinion. It's got that similar 80s type of sound. And like I mentioned with Belong to the World and Adaptation, it fills everything that you want. It's what we want from The Weeknd. It's what we expect at this point. Wanderlust, I gave it 8.8. It's the second highest rating song on this. Kissland, the self-titled, the album titled, the song titled off the album titled off the song. I feel like I just lost my life for a second. Anyway, Kissland, I like the build-up. It's the first minute and a half is alright, though. It's a good build-up to what it is getting into. Not a huge fan of the chorus, but it does kind of fit what the song is damn near perfectly. But at the half, there's a much needed switch up. Like the halfway point, most of these songs are 5 minutes long, by the way. Right around the halfway point, there is a nice switch up. The second half of the song is awesome. Overall, I gave Kissland a 7.8, but the first half I gave a 7, and then the second half is at an 8.5, dude. I'm dead serious when I say that the second half literally makes the song. There's no way around it. Then we get into track 9, Pretty. Pretty is a really good one too. A lot of people's favorite as well from this album. I like his delivery, leading into the chorus. It feels like he's kind of opening up. It kind of feels like he's a little more vulnerable, which, if you guys couldn't tell by this point, I like when an artist gets vulnerable and lets us into a little bit of what their life is like. I gave that one an 8. Tears in the Rain. It kind of feels like a little bit of a continuation. It's a good ending. And I wrote this down, I didn't realize how much guitar is actually in this album, which is really cool. It's just kind of hidden in plain sight. If you're really paying attention, you notice it, but if not, it's there. And that's what I was talking about earlier with the layers in a lot of these songs. You don't even realize there's a lot of stuff going on. So I bet if I go back in and listen, I'll be hearing stuff that I didn't even notice the past couple times of me listening to it. Song is slow. It's a good way to end the project, but when you actually listen to the lyrics, it's kind of sad, and I don't want to put any of the lyrics on here. I want you guys to go in and listen. I know I already said some lyrics from some other songs, but it was helping to make a point. Go in and listen to it for yourself. It will bring out a little of emotion for you. I'm starting to think that I might have rated this one a little too low, but I gave this one an 8 as well. So that makes an average of the album and its song ratings of a 7.97. That's good. It's a good rating. Good album. Overall, yeah, it's an awesome album. Like I said, my favorite song, Adaptation. My least favorite song, Love in the Sky. Year. So, now, why don't we get into the fun part, okay? So, like I said last time, if the vinyl art is the same as it is on digital, I'm going to give it a 5. But, but, see, there's the back. Nothing special, okay? Front, whole lot of the same. And now this is what I get into. This is just a sleeve, okay? And look at that. You got some cool Japanese artwork on here. You got the track list on the back, which is cool. A little bit of the credits down at the bottom, which is cool. The reason why I was waiting to bring up what I was talking about later or earlier in the video about how he was kind of had newfound success leading up into this album. He hadn't left Ontario at all. Like in his whole life, he was just in Ontario, never went on a plane, never left the country. So he decided after the trilogy came out, you know what, I got this money. And he even says in one of the songs, he says, you made enough money to quit, but you do it for the, like, he just loves making music, essentially, is what the song is saying. And he hopped on a plane and went to Japan. That was the first place that he had been outside of Ontario. So, kind of makes sense as to why we get all this Japanese artwork on it. It's really cool. I really like it. And not only that, not only is it this, but there's also more on it. These are the sleeves, actually. This is the actual sleeve. There's more right there. Isn't that cool? So, the artwork, I gave it a 10. I had to give it a 10. It's cool. And then incorporating the fact that he just went to Japan right before and he put the Japanese art style into here. You know, it's kind of cool, a little homage to like, hey, I'm kind of making it in this life. So now that we got that done, I'm going to save the color for last because this is really cool. But like I said, the rest of the songs, they sounded just fine on vinyl. But for whatever reason, the town, his voice just sounded better on the vinyl. So I gave it a little bonus point for that. It got an 8.22 out of 10 on that. The album, or the vinyl artwork, all this stuff, got a 10 out of 10, like I said. And the disc got a 10 out of 10. And just, I don't think I got to say anything. I just got to show. Let me show you what's up. Like, this is just gorgeous. This is gorgeous. So, one thing that I do also want to mention on why I gave some bonus points, it wasn't just because that one song. There's one thing I also should mention. Adaptation, Love in the Sky, and Belong to the World. When you listen to those three in that order, they sync up perfect. Or not sync up, but they go into the next one perfectly. Love in the Sky ends with like rain, you know, and then there's a thunderous boom that happens, and that's where Belong to the World starts. So that's cool. And all three of those are on this side, back to back to back. The detail, dude, the attention to detail is just beautiful, and this color is beautiful. 10 out of 10 on the disc, 10 out of 10 on the art style, 8.22. Little bonus point action for listening to it on vinyl because of the three songs being back to back to back and the town sounding just awesome on here. So that brings the rating for the vinyl to a 9.05. It's a good rating, man. You can't sneeze at that. You can't snicker at that. This is a good album. Solid artwork all the way through. And honestly, I listened to it probably 7-8 times just to get a true sense that I could actually judge it properly. There were moments where I didn't even realize like songs would be over. I thought I'd still be on the same song. It just goes together so good. The whole album as a whole, money. 9.05 as the vinyl rating, 7.97 as the overall song rating. So, yeah, I got the wheel. It'll spin in a second, but first I want to say thank you guys for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Thoughts and prayers to everybody in Ukraine. It's very unfortunate what's happening out there, and hearts with the Ukrainians. So, without further ado, I'm gonna give this wheel a spin, and the next vinyl will be